Hi everyone, it's Rich Mclean, the formerly internationally renowned artist and author of recovery books and an international speaker and a person who's spoken in Parliament, in the Dubbo, to Montreal. I've had an interesting life, moved 28 times and lived with over 90 people. That's due to a lot of things, but it's got its roots in prejudice and detriment and stigma and homophobia and the heteronormative 1950s brutal assault that was lashed onto every one of us when we were growing up. I just got a few things to say tonight. I'm just going to speak from the heart. Very bluntly, I was murdered by this government, and it is too late for them to backtread. I was found unresponsive in a bottom of a loony bin shower, for which I was incarcerated for apparent delusions of persecution. However, they're absolutely true. And when that kind of systemic abuse happens to you, it is an unthinkable oppression that you could barely even imagine, and I can't rationally explain to any individual person. I just want to say some very basic things. This is a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. A prosecution in the High Court must prove each of the following matters beyond a reasonable doubt to prove that. And I already have on killhim.info. And that is that the accused did an act or made an omission, and that they did so intent to pervert the course of justice. Well, bluntly, I cannot report to police. I cannot engage any lawyer in the country, and I am a failed whistleblower at IBAC, APRA, ASIC, and the Commonwealth Ombudsman. After I was accidentally found and revived from certain death, I was dumped into the community, and they gave me it took 10 months to see a psychiatrist. And Saltwater Clinic is the arm of the hospital that I tried to sue. Not one person in the entire world rose a pen or objected to my death or, post-death. And I do have a bit of a brain injury. I know it because I remember things, and I've spent the last 16 months in utter, absolute, oppressive hell. And that has been because I have lived in abject poverty for 16 months. And I've been screaming for help, and no help comes. Every single person in the world has a reason to hate on me. And small minds entertain gossip and libel and slander. I'm quite content with who I am as a person, and I've atoned for what I was paranoid that I thought I'd done wrong, or anything I thought I'd done wrong. And if I've hurt you, I unequivocally apologise that my own confusions led to me either intentionally or unintentionally hurting anyone. Now, the same has not been said back to me. And I just want to say, this detriment killed me. Like, the government murdered me and then they covered it up. That is how catastrophically scapegoated and character assassinated by powerful stakeholders in the government and in the publishing industry have framed me. And they have exploited me, and they have publicly vilified and humiliated me. Now, I ask you to all consider the detriment of my life, which has been in the multi millions of dollars, but in human suffering caused to me over the many years of prejudice and discrimination I've had to deal with, which ultimately, through an extremely intelligently designed, conscious movement to oppress me by these powerful stakeholders, it's rendered me a vagrant, and it framed me mad person. And I am absolutely not. I'm just forgetful now. My vagrancy was silently composed and designed by my former partner, Stefan Isonides. Look him up on the tax portal. You'll see he goes under different names. Who embezzled $1.2 million in an offshore tax haven, got caught by ASIO where he worked. And he still owes me a legal and just, equitable settlement for our 5-year relationship together. And he's hiding. And what have I got to lose? Apart from a bullet in the brain. I've already been killed. I don't fear death. And you can't take my soul. This crime of conspiracy is also a broader game of me being identified, vilified, and directly and nichely, just on me, exploited, and then made a political pawn and a political prisoner. And that is why I am in this situation, squatting with no food, not enough to eat. I've been damned by the NDIA Minister Reynolds, and she will not, as the NDIA can, pay my some of my accommodation fees. People just say to me, why don't you move on? It's a real position of privilege when you're, eating the juicy steak, and, no matter how you got there, if you say to a person who's been through what I've through, why don't you just move on? They obviously don't understand what you've been through, or they are actively further oppressing you. And the decades-long abhorrence led... and I just want to say, Minister Reynolds won't pay my rent, and she sends me to Services Australia, but Dan Andrews won't help me because he sent me to the back to the hospital where I died, even though I pointed out all the other things. And then they called me because the big knobs have knocked on their door. It's all power plays, So they ring me after dumping me 10 months later and go, oh, can you call us? We'd really like that. And it's a bit fucked up, really. And I just want to say further that after I was deemed, it was deemed a fatal injury and a lethal attempt in the Freedom of Information, which I had to fight for. And the CEO of the hospital, Dave Stevenson, the CEO intentionally avoided my offer. I offered them, I chased them for a simple, small atonement that this tragedy had occurred, framed by the systemic injustice and oppression that ended up in the misdiagnosis and the abandonment of duty of care and the injury by an illegal contraband, which are all against the Charter of Human Rights. And you know what he said? He said, sue me personally and directly for it. And he knew fair well that I had spent months with the government mantra through various organisations of the delay, deny, defer model, and they waited and waited and waited until it got to the Ombudsman, and they set you up to fail. This is what I know now in hindsight. They set you up to fail. And the sad thing is that your closest and dearest, they're all in on it. Because how they exploit me is by getting people on side, by exploiting already existing vulnerabilities and existing ingrained prejudices that are within society and people. It's not hard to believe a half-truth if you want to hate on someone anyway, and join the sheeple. So he knew I couldn't get a lawyer. He knew I couldn't go to the police. And the Ombudsman, Ben Calder, had just said there's nothing to see. I thought death was a bit more serious than that. I rang the office of the chief psychiatrist. She said, well, you can't kill yourself every time you don't get what you want. And I just thought, and that's the difference between you and me. The haves and the have-nots. You don't understand what it means to do that kind of thing. I don't do it for fun, and I don't have this life for fun, but good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good people. And I'm at peace with myself. Even as I sit here squatting with no food. I had a bit of cheese. Poor Crystal, she's in bed. And I can't afford it here. And, everyone in the world, my family, my sister, my brother, my mum, my dad, they're not worried about $500,000. I actually offered my brother $100,000 if he'd just get me a lawyer. But somehow everyone knows that's impossible for Rich. He doesn't have equal rights before the law. He's different. He's so different that the government, who is a signatory to the Declaration of Human Rights, it doesn't apply to Rich. I just can't believe this is happening to me. I have quite a little joke to myself that I'm the second coming of the laughing Buddha Christ, and I just here to be what's the word they use in the Bible when they everyone's forsaken me, and I'm here to forgive everyone. Now I want to make this detriment into something good. I'm going to cut to something really quick, and I'm just going to say I want to make it into something really damn good. And when justice does come, and the jury's out, but the Office of Prime Minister at first said it was voluminous and complex, my freedom of information. Now it doesn't exist. The Attorney General condoned the Australian Human Rights Centre $1 million loss, AFCA $2 million loss, corruption there, Comcare, work cover. I'm going to lose a work cover case. It's already signed in fate. They're just playing with me, like a dead mouse or a half dead mouse. And she sent me to the SANE helpline. And that's how they frame me, because a lot of the times I call to the police and they just frame me as some kind of crazy person. But in actual fact, I just want to say this. In terms of my rights and what... Oh, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, I forgot. I want to turn this into something good. So for the marginalised and the trans and the Indigenous and the women and the rape victims and the child abuse sexual victims and the survivors and the bereaved of the ones we've lost. And I would really want to change this whole fucked up thing into a different currency and assume my position as a transformation expert and get hate and prejudice and discrimination and a systemic forsaken world and turn it into something that's going to bring joy, love, happiness to other people. I do get very sad and I get very disappointed in the other humans, but I just, I've really got to trust my spirit here, because if I don't, who's got my back? Who? Name one. So I want to say the government is a signatory to the Declaration of Human Rights of Disabled Persons. It says the term disabled person is any person unable to ensure by himself or herself, wholly or partly, the necessities of a normal, I hate the word normal, individual and or social life as a result of deficiency, either congenital or not, in his or her physical or mental capabilities. Hello. 2. Assertion. Now, I think the character assassination assertion is that these rights apply to all disabled persons. That's me, without exception whatsoever, and without distinction or discrimination on the basis of race, colour, sex, language, religion, political or other opinions, national or social origin, state or wealth, birth or any other situation, applying to either the disabled person himself or to their family. 3. I have a right to respect for human dignity. I am currently left homeless. I have no food. I've lived in utter squalor for 16 months. And now, even though I can't report rape, murder, tax fraud, sexual and financial coercion, conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, theft of my car, theft of my phone, a robbery, someone breaking into my house, violent attack, police cover-up, the list goes on and on. I can't report anything, anywhere, anytime to anyone. But VCAT, hello, holier than thou VCAT, full of public service officials who are comfortable with their complicit life, eating the steak and, having the mantra of delay, deny, defer, and towing the party line to keep me down, are going to sign a thing with the owners, and they're going to get the police to move me on with a law. A law. How about that? A law. And they're going to move me to a place, but the NDIA said go to Services Australia, and Services Australia said, well, go to DHHS, and DHHS, the homeless people, said, we don't provide people with homes. And that's the kind of toxic gaslighting I get from every agency in the world. I don't know if it's like maybe I designed this world in another life, and I'm here to find out at the end, as a highly super intelligent video game, But anyway, I've just got to find a few bits of joy in my life, which is my dog. In respect to human dignity, that includes, how about no death threats at the window? No violent criminals breaking into your house. No one hassling you at the door. No oppression. No conspiracy or victimisation. No threats at the door. That I might have access to a GP. I've got cancer. 4 months ago I was diagnosed with cancer. No one's followed up on it. That's weird. I'd like some medicine, Everyone's so worried about mental illness and if I'm taking my medication, But in actual fact, that's a small part of the picture. I am not a huge fat pill. I am a sentient being of many multi-dimensions. And that is only a methodology to silence or make things run smoother with the biochemicals in your brain. Human dignity would mean having the comfort of a home, wouldn't it? With heating and cooling and windows that lock. It'd mean that the cops couldn't use the key to enter your house to lock you up on the mental health law when a Division 4 nurse who you've never met signed you in to put you in at the very hospital you died at and you can't sue. And you have a PhD, a doctorate, in what is mad and what is not. And despite your best efforts to say, under the PSA charter, you have to respect this, blah, blah, and about how I was educated and about the conspiracy's real and all that kind of stuff. It just, it's impossible not to. What am I going to do? I had to let them drag me out in a divvy van. It was so humiliating. The whole streets out there watching. One time the CAT team came out. The SWAT team. They had guns. Mate, I'm a Buddhist. I wouldn't punch my way out of a wet paper bag, and the only person I've ever harmed on purpose is me. And that's because you made me. I would have the same civil and political rights as other human beings. Well, that'd mean I'd have access to police and I could report crime, wouldn't it? It'd mean that I can complain without prejudice. Number 5, right to measures designed to enable self-reliance. I reckon I've survived an uphill battle my entire life as a queer youth or a bisexual youth, and as my friends who have died, and the grief that I've been through, and the the profound misinformation of heteronormative life, and the willful choice to stay in ignorance from small-minded people. That's really blown me away. See, they're the kind of normal, the beige brigade, and they say that we're crazy. But we, all us colourful people, the junkies, stoners, freaks, and the artists, and the shamans, and the healers, and the light workers, we all know they're mad. It's really funny. Yeah, and character assassination, what can I say? Robs me with justice and my right for prosperity. I'll just go through this, and then I'm going to stop because I need to go to sleep. So I have the right under this law, it's a law, to medical, psychological, and functional treatment as necessary. Hello? I barely have healthcare. I haven't seen a single psychologist in 16 months after literally being the subject of a conspiracy to manslaughter, which the government then covered up and then sued me and then tried to then destroyed my business intentionally and then covered that up. And then I further went on down the track, and now it's at the jewel in the crown of the Prime Minister. Well, hip-de-doo. Who's rich? Must be a pretty powerful guy. Scotty, if you're out there crying about your circumcision scars, don't worry, buddy. It's just child mutilation. It's alright. Jesus forgives. Jesus cut. Don't worry about it. Then I was rejected from a local health coordinator with NDIS. Rejected from all my invoices. I'm condoned to vagrancy from the NDIS Minister and the Health Minister Greg Hunt and the Finance Minister Birmingham and all police and all federal police. And I know that I have thought disorder and memory problems from being found the way I was. I deserve an intervention with a neurologist and non-biased health professionals. Oh, I just got my results today from the last incarceration, which was a pathetic attempt at oppressing me, because I went in there and I was just fine, and the psychiatrist, Dr. Lagrasso, he goes, "You don't actually meet the criteria of being in here." And I go, "I know, right? It's oppression." And he knows he can't cross the floor. He can't sue his own boss. And they let me go. So, but it actually says he has delusions of persecution. They're still going on with that. Like I'm still going on with this. Anyway, I have the right to economic and social security, including a right to employment. Wow, they smashed my job, and they smashed my money, and they smashed the social security, because after I died, they put me on job seeker, even though I was still on illness leave. It just goes on. Look, I'm not going to just sum it up tonight, but I want to turn this into something really good. There's point 8, point 9, there's all these points. I've written so much. Very bluntly, though, I just want to say every public authority under the Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities Act 2006, for the purposes of the Charter, a public authority is a public official within the meaning of the Public Administration Act. That includes employees of the public service, including the head of government department or an administrative office, and the Victorian Public Sector Commissioner. It also includes directors and staff of government entities, court staff, parliamentary officers, and holders of statutory or prerogative offices. Under that, I deserve recognition and equality before the law. Ba-bow. Every person has the right to recognition as a person before the law. Ba-bow. Every person has a right to enjoy his or her human rights without discrimination. Ba-bow. Every person is equal before the law. Ba-bow. And is entitled to the equal protection of the law without discrimination. And has the right to equal and effective protection against discrimination. And you know what? They got the right to life. You know, I launched a website called killhim.info because that's what they're trying to do via proxy of attacking me in the money. And they're waiting for me to be rendered so distressed like last time that they can incarcerate me. But I'm quite happy and you can't take my soul. I'm absolutely fine. I'm a victim. It says here, every person has the right to life, and has the right not to be arbitrarily deprived of life. Well, that happened. 10, protection from torture and cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment. God, imagine the person. I could put the whole country in jail. We must not be subjected to torture. Torture! Torture. Treated or punished in a cruel, inhumane, or degrading way. Oh! You know, and privacy and reputation. Reputation. Oh, mine's a sterling one. A person has the right not to have his or her privacy, family, home, or correspondence unlawfully or arbitrarily interfered with. Oh, they ruined my whole business and deleted 20 years of emails. And I've had a violent criminal break into my home, and I get death threats to the door. It's pretty good. Bye-bye. And not to have his or her reputation unlawfully attacked. No, they're going to wait till I do it. They're going to wait till I go right cunt of myself, and then I'm going to call them out, and then they're going to reverse frame me because I'm going to catch them out, and they're going to catch me out with something they've framed me with. It's a disaster. Anyway, it's pretty funny actually. But anyway, freedom of expression. That's why I'm saying in these YouTube videos, I have the right to hold an opinion without interference. It's my opinion. 99.99% of you are fucking cunts. Anyway, every person has the right. Every person has the right to freedom of expression. Oh, I'm expressing myself. Express yourself. Don't express yourself. Which includes the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information. Wow. I can do it orally, in writing, in print, or by way of art, or in any other medium. I might do an interpretive dance, or a crucifixion maybe. Property rights. There we go. A person must not be deprived of his or her property other than in accordance with the law. And that is the law tonight. As we round off tonight, I'm going to bed, and I just wanted to say a bit about the law and a bit about my story. And I've been arbitrarily robbed consciously by a conspiracy to pervert the cause of justice of millions and millions of dollars. Someone out there has to cross the floor for me, because without someone doing so, what do I do? What do I eat? Where do the police take me? Ask yourselves these questions, and we'll tune in next time when I look through the window and I say, I can see you. Because Jesus, the Redeemer, will, if you don't repent, I'll have to get Dad to cast you all down with a nuclear bubonic infestation of crabs that are absolutely unquenchably thirsty. And I'll beat you in a tickle fight. Until next time, it's Rich Mclean, signing off. And, yeah, be nice to one another. And forgive when you can. And the last thing is, if you can help. If you believe what they've told you, it's libel and slander, and good luck to you, and add to it if you want. Say I fucked a chicken under the Lilydale clocks on Flinders Street Station when I was catching the Dandenong train, killed it by fucking it, and then missed my train because I was on the wrong platform. Say that. I really don't care. And I just want to say that if you can please help me, I want to turn this movement of one, desecration, which is only a number one, but I'm a big one. I go bigger than my body. I go bigger than here to here to here to here to here. It goes out and out and out. It goes divine. It goes right down. It's everything and nothing, absolutely nothing. But it has a sentience and a spirit having a monkey experience. So it needs to acknowledge that spirit, the divinity, and it needs to transform the pain. Because for me to stay in this manifestation and not go home yet, I have to. I have a job, right? My job's been rendered for me. I didn't know it really until this point, but I have to find a way to turn this utter tragedy into the release of suffering for other people, particularly marginalised people, as I've really already done my whole life for 25 years. Anyway, you know, if you don't like these videos, suck a fat cock. Or, you know, stick a dog up you. Or whatever. Just going on. I'll let you go. It's Rich McLean. Dr. Richard McLean. Dr. Dick. A.K.A. Jesus Christ. The Laughing Buddha. Persecuted, heinously denied. I'm hungry, actually. Character assassinated from the coffee guy. It's from the coffee guy to the Prime Minister and beyond. But the obstacle is the path. Good night, everyone.